I've talked about my mom, who had me when she was 16, and my dad, who was an illegal immigrant. So I'm going to kind of go a little bit further into my story. They call my mom a gypsy. Not that she's actually a gypsy, but she really enjoyed kind of moving around. Whether that has to do with how or what happened in her life, that's for her to say. But this is my story, so she can tell hers if she wants to. Anyway, so I went to about 9 different schools within a 12-year period of time, but I don't want to act like that was a horrible thing, because I really made some great friends along the way, met some really cool people, and got to experience humans, which is, I think, part of what we do anyway, is to experience other humans and to provide something interesting in our life. Anyway, at the age of, I believe I was 9 or 10, we left Long Island and moved to Illinois, where I wound up moving away from my father and not getting to see him for a long time. We moved to a couple different places there. Again, met some really cool people. Came back, moved to the Poconos in PA, where I basically grew up. Graduated from Scranton High School, whoop whoop, and right after graduation, so I graduated June 1999, because we partied like it was 1999. Then I joined the military that summer, and September of 1999 I left for basic training to Fort Lost in the Woods, aka Fort Leonard Wood. I was actually one of the first female groups to actually go through basic training, because they had just opened it up to females, so that's pretty cool. To feel like you were part of something new, especially being a female, because I do feel that as females, we have been fighting for a long time to have a voice and just to make a difference in this world, because I do think that, sorry guys, we are the stronger sex. What can I say? Anyway, so my military experience, that was pretty valuable, I think. Was a 40-ton crane operator, heavy equipment operator type thing. The military calls it an 88 hotel cargo specialist. When I went into the military, I had some high hopes. I really thought about becoming an officer and doing something magnificent. And a good majority of my experience in the Army was valuable, and I did learn a lot because I was not ready for college right after high school. I had fun partying, and I didn't have a college fund like a lot of other people. Let's face it, my mom was a teen mom and my dad was an illegal immigrant. So now there are cases, of course, where people did have funds for college, but unfortunately I didn't. So I had to figure something out. And if I was going to pay for college, I knew that I was probably going to just piss it away, partying or doing who knows what. So the military turned out to be a great choice for me. Unfortunately, as a female, it turned more into guys wanting sex all the time, even from my recruiter, which I should have reported it but never did. So my recruiter, on the way back from taking the ASVAB test, which, by the way, during taking the test, I was almost through when the electricity went out because there was a huge storm. So I had to retake the whole test over again. So I probably could have scored better, but didn't. Anyway, woe is me. So as he's taking me back home, he's telling me that he wants to take me to a dark alley and fuck me. And all I can do is hope that my mom was home, or this is a time where cell phones weren't even around. So it was pretty scary to even think about someone who you're supposed to be trusting going into the military. So that was my first military experience, and I hadn't even left for basic training yet. Then, of course, while I was in, I had sergeants or, people that were above me making sexual innuendos. I had to do a 24-hour duty, and the sergeant who was my friend, who I actually had dinner parties with him and his wife, and we hung out. I was on with him, and I was using the restroom, and he came in the stall and put his dick in my face and was trying to encourage me to do something with it. Of course I didn't. I was a married woman at the time with a little boy at home, but it just what is wrong with people? I don't know. So we were training on a Hagelin crane, which is on a ship. It's high up, and I am afraid of heights, but the good thing about the military is that they encourage you to face fears and things like that. So I was able to do that. Still afraid of heights, though, so I don't know how well it did. Anyway, while I'm alone in this little cab high up in the air, the sergeant that is training me, he was also being very sexual. I don't understand it, and I know that other women have experienced this. How is it that we don't do any? I mean, Jesus, I was wearing camouflage, a brown T-shirt for him, which is very unsexy in a lot of ways. So it's not like I had things showing to encourage that type of behavior. Why do people do that? Is there anyone that can even give some kind of information as to what would attract a man to treat a woman like that? I don't know. So anyway, during my time in the military, I had a child, and once I had gotten pregnant, it was like I was useless to them. They treated me completely different, having to requalify on things even after I passed I missed pregnancy PT and wound up getting 15 days of extra duty, getting Article 15 because I had gotten sick and couldn't go to the post right there on Fort Eustis, aka Fort Eustis, and had to go somewhere else. So I don't know, just confusing times. I'm sure that there's other women out there that have had a not so great experience while in the military. If you did, share it. Do you regret not saying anything, or did you say something? Because I do feel regret for not saying anything. I feel regret for not having a voice, not knowing what to do at that time. And of course now I've grown into more of a woman, and feel like I should have said something, not just even for myself, but for future women, for the military. So let me see if anyone comments. Be a part of the conversation. I'll be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.